Good morning, YouTube. Gonna take out my 2012 McLaren 12C. Take it to work today, probably run some errands. And yeah, we're gonna see if this little car would make a good daily driver. Driving the McLaren 12C. Sorry, I'm channeling a little bit of my inner Doug DeMuro there. But so yeah, the McLaren MP4-12C, or 12C as it's called now, I think. Could you use this as your daily driver? My short and quick answer is yes, as long as you don't have kids, obviously, and you don't need to really haul stuff as part of your daily routine. I know, space and, room is obviously one of the factors that people consider in whether something can be a good daily driver, but I think, obviously drivability, is it fun to drive, is it easy to drive? I think actually that's probably or should be, the biggest consideration for whether or not to consider something to be a good daily driver, or to pick a car based on its potential to be a daily driver. I have a lot of pretty cool cars. I have a Ford GT, I have a Gallardo, I have a 360 Modena. They're really fun to drive, really fun weekend cars, but I would never ever want to daily drive any of those cars. It's just the turning radius on the Lambo, it feels like you're driving a tank. The Ford GT is basically almost impossible to park or get out of the car unless you're at the very end of a parking lot where there's no one to your left side. The Modena, well, as you guys know, it's Ferrari, so you're just kind of waiting for that warning light to come on or something to happen. Now, the McLaren 12C, as I mentioned in my other video with the Lotus, being a British, I don't know if it's because it's a British-made car, but I've definitely had some issues with the 12C. I purchased it with an extended warranty, so everything that happened, for the most part, was covered by that extended warranty. Now the vehicle is out of warranty, so I am a little nervous. So I guess that reputation of some gremlins popping up, and like I said with the Lotus, just some random things popping on, warning lights coming on, is to be expected and probably will happen if you own a 12C. So that's probably maybe a downside of using this car as a daily driver. How reliable or dependable will it be? There's a lot of horror stories on YouTube. I think Hoovie's Garage had a video where he purchased one and basically completely blew up on him. But I've had a few warning lights come on, an oil leak, an issue with the seat belt light not going off. But if you drive the car regularly, which you would as a daily driver, I think most of those issues would go away. But returning to my point about whether the car is fun to drive, is it easy to drive? You may think I'm full of crap when I say this, but the 12C is easily one of the easiest and best driving cars I have. I would put it very comparably to my 2003 Acura NSX. When you look at these supercars, the Pagani, the Bugatti, Lambos, Ferraris, whatever the case is, they're beautiful, right? They're just works of art. But obviously I haven't had a chance to drive all of them, but from my limited experience in owning several and driving some, a lot of times the driving experience is not that great. They're cramped, it's uncomfortable, the ride beats the hell out of you. That's kind of why I really don't like driving my Gallardo much, because it is a very, very rough ride. But this 12C, I heard, I saw one YouTube review, I think, where they basically compared it to a Lexus. Obviously you can switch into sport mode and do all those things, and play around with the suspension a little bit, but if you just drive it in normal mode, it's like driving a Lexus. It's very smooth, it rides down the road, doesn't kill your back. Sometimes, honestly, you forget you're driving a supercar. You forget you're driving a McLaren. That's how smooth of a ride it is. And again, I would put it very comparable to the 2003 Acura NSX I have. So in terms of, you know, fun, easy to drive, easy to navigate, nimble, just really a blast to get in. Just put your foot down. This car is easily 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10. Again, I would put it above really every other supercar I own, other than perhaps the 2003 Acura NSX I have, which I think, you know, all you guys know is famous for its easeability of driving. It's incredibly user-friendly. So yeah, I mean, the only downsides I would say to trying to use this as a daily driver is, again, you're a little bit limited on space. There's no backseat, obviously. The front is, you know, very limited. But, you know, and some gremlins will pop up now and then, which, from what I hear, the more you drive these McLarens, especially these older 12Cs, the more you drive them, the more those issues will go away. And I've found that to be the case too. When I let the car sit a while, or I let it sit at the garage for a while and I haven't driven it, usually those warning lights will pop up much more frequently than if I've actually taken the car out. But yeah, it's a blast to drive. And I like the car because it's kind of understated, flies under the radar if you can do that with the McLaren. A lot of people, a lot of blogs, a lot of car review channels that I watch, the 12C was kind of slept on when it first came out. People called it a little bit boring, a little bit too safe, I think, is what the main criticism was. But as the subsequent redesigns and generations have come out, different models, I think the 12Cs has aged really well. And I think people are coming to appreciate its simplicity, its kind of timeless, classic, simple design. Very much like, you know, the Mazda RX-7, you know, the Mark IV Toyota Supra, the first generation NSX. These are things that they don't age. Obviously the McLaren F1, you know, which I'll never own or drive. But these are things that just will always look classic, always, you know, will look great no matter what generation, no matter what you compare them to. So that's why I like this car too, and I think it would make a really good daily driver. Because, you know, not that you're not worried about, you know, someone throwing a shopping cart into it or, you know, hitting a curb, but when I drive this car, it's because it's so easy to drive, so easy to handle. I don't have less worries, if that makes sense, than when I drive, you know, my Ford GT or my Gallardo, or, you know, it's just something that it's less stressful driving, if that makes sense. And, you know, you don't get a lot of the crazy reactions when you drive by and something like this. I also have this in white, so it's even more understated. But it's very clean, smooth, classy car, blast to drive. Doesn't, you know, warrant the unnecessary or obnoxious attention that you want. But, you know, if you want to put your foot down, you're going to blow past 90% of the people on the road. If you're in that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, those are basically, I would say, the pros and cons of considering the 12C as your daily driver. Something else, guys, to consider on whether or not the 12C would make a good daily driver. I mean, I think price point, cost is obviously a consideration that you have to take into account for anything, for any purchase. You know, these depreciated quite a bit from obviously their original sales price to what they're going on the market now. For this one, I believe I got it basically just a shade under 100,000. Again, it's a 2012. It has about 38,000 miles on it, which, you know, generally is a little bit high on the high end of these cars. Which, again, I never understood people who get cars and don't drive them. You know, you'll see these 12Cs, or really a lot of supercars, quite honestly, but you see a lot of these 12Cs on sale for like less than 10,000 miles, and actually I would avoid those, because, you know, again, I have found at least the less you drive these cars, the more problems tend to pop up. But yeah, I mean, for, just like I said with my Lotus, for about 100K, you know, you're getting, what, 600 over 600 horsepower. You're getting the looks of a supercar. You know, that McLaren handling, drivability. You know, obviously, you want something fairly unique, something that's gonna turn heads. You know, get you some attention if you're into that kind of thing. This is awesome bang for your buck. The big problems again are the long-term reliability. I know resale value. I mean, I don't know how much you guys consider those things, but I mean, I think if it's, as long as you're not putting 100,000 miles on this thing, as long as you're not just beating the hell out of it, I think you'll probably get most of your money back if you sell it, or if you end up selling it. The one problem is these things are very expensive to work on. The garage where I keep most of my cars, or a lot of my cars, and a lot of my friends who work on those cars, you know, they don't work on McLarens. So I've actually had to take the 12C to a dealership to get the little gremlins, little issues, the warning lights I've had worked out, and it's pricey. Yeah, labor's pricey, the parts are pricey, but again, that's the price of supercar ownership, you know. So it's true what they say: if you can only afford the car, don't get the car, because you're going to have to spend for insurance and gas and maintenance and oil changes, and you know, just the annual inspection oil change is going to run you several $1,000s at least, and that's without any issues popping up. So something to keep in mind. Again, mine, the one that I got, was pretty well taken care of. Had a PPI done on it, came out clean, but even then I've had some gremlins pop up. So I think that would probably be one of the biggest downsides. In a way, it kind of works for and against this being a good daily driver, if that makes sense. I think the more you use a 12C, I think the less problems you'll have, at least from what I've heard, from what even McLaren has told me. The problems that they have a lot of times when they sit and they're not used. So again, being a daily driver would mitigate a lot of those issues. But at the same time, the more you use them, that's more times you're slamming these doors, which have a tendency to have these little, you know, climate control buttons that are on the door. Those can go out. Warning lights, leaks, little things that, you know, come up or pop up. Those obviously could become more frequent the more you use the car. But again, it's a pros and cons, cost benefit analysis that everyone has to make. But overall, I honestly think, you know, this isn't clickbait. I really think a 12C does make for a great daily driver, as long as you don't have to lug a lot of stuff. You don't need a ton of luggage room, or, you know, you're not taking kids every day. It's a great choice. It's a blast to drive, and very, very few downsides. So again, is the 12C a good daily driver? Well, kind of depends on what you're looking for and what you need, but in my personal opinion, it's a great car. It's a blast to drive. Get the benefits of a supercar and very few of the downsides, of course, other than the gremlins and the high cost of maintenance. But again, pros and cons with everything, right? Give you guys here exterior shot. Let's go for interior. I know you guys have seen these a million times, but you know, since it's a video about being a daily driver, space or kind of lack thereof. Not a lot of space, but again, if it's just you and you're not carrying around a lot of stuff, it'll do the job. So, does it make a good daily driver? Well, that's for you guys to decide. But again, if you want a fun car that turns heads, a car that's kind of unique, and something that's more fun to drive than a Civic or a Camry, then this might be your car. So, hope you guys enjoy. Give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to support the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.